Welcome to the Social Ninjas podcast. I am your co-host Kyle Mitchell.
One-on-one edition.
Oh yeah, the one-on-one edition. So yeah, the one-on-one. The other one is Jeremy, that guy.
Yeah, this guy. What's up, Kyle? It's good to see you. Good to hear you.
Good to see and hear you. How's it been going, man?
I think I was actually just telling you about some really intense freak out this morning. It's 5 or 6 a.m. I was telling you this story, and you're like, why didn't we record that? I woke up at like 5, 6 a.m. and it was really raw. It was in the dream. There's like a big earthquake that was about to happen, and we were trying to find a place for safety, but there wasn't a place of safety. So like my place of safety wasn't there. So I woke up and all my shadows, my old, worn out shadows that don't serve me anymore, just came to the surface. And all, you bring no value anywhere you bring no value in the world. You're very selfish. You can do what you want. You have, like, you have no discipline. All sorts of negative thoughts were just spewing. And it was very uncomfortable. And historically, I when I'm going through a hard time, I kind of go in my cave a bit, and I think I would do a lot of work on myself. I don't need to do my work anymore, and it's just a good reminder that no, I always have to do my work. It's not just I do a bunch of work and then I'm good. I wish it would just stop. Like I've done so much work over the years.
Yeah, you just have to put in a certain number of hours, then after that you're good for the rest of your life.
Yeah, right? 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
It's 10,000 hours of just like work. But it's the beauty of it. Like, what is the positive that came from it? I reached out to people I haven't talked to in a long time. That I've kind of like, well, I don't reach out to them anymore. So I reached out to a bunch of people. Can anyone have a talk today? To have like a few calls scheduled today. People I haven't talked to in a long time. I have a mentor, and I haven't talked to him in a while. And I was like, can we do our weekly, check-ins again? I stopped doing it because I was like, I'm good now. Just. Yeah, so it's a good reminder. So he's like, yeah, I'm down. Let's do our weekly check-ins. And actually, two of my main mentors, I have another check-in with him. So I hope this is a reminder to anyone listening that you're not alone, and yeah, it's okay to reach out. Like it was very uncomfortable. I actually put a chat, or I reached out in two group chats that I'm in. It was very uncomfortable to do because I felt like I was being weak or a burden. There's another, shadow for me.
That was the word that was coming to my mind. Yeah, weak.
Yeah, you're a burden if you're asking for help. And I felt it, and I sent the send button, and no one responds, of course, because it's 5, 6 a.m. I'm like, oh my god, they think I feel bad. Like they have their own stuff going on. I don't want to like be a burden. And they responded so positively. I only had tears in my eyes. I was like, whoa, people do care.
So you talked about a weekly check-in. What's that like?
It's my mentor Kevin. We just kind of check in where we're at in our lives and what's come up and stuff we can work on, and just externalizing everything from our shadows. I think what I've learned is that what I've done in the past, and I notice other people do, is they're in denial about their shadows. They're in denial about their limiting beliefs, and they just they stuff it in their subconscious, all their dark demons and everything that they don't like about themselves, or messages they receive from past traumas they're in denial about. They ignore it, as opposed to be very aware of it, and almost to not holding on to its impact on you, that it's just accepting it and putting it in front of you so and that you see it and you don't leech on, in a sense. Like I put in my Facebook recently, you are not your thoughts. And so if you're just like, it is what it is, I have these I have these parts of me, these scary parts of me I'm not proud of. But if I put it in front of me at all times and I see it, and it doesn't have power over me. But if I stuff it in there, it's going to try even harder to try to get my attention.
So, how do you go about changing those beliefs? So, let me try to phrase it in a different way. So, like, what if it's something that's kind of like a true thing, but you're so let's for example, say if you're struggling like financially, and that's like giving you some mental struggles, like that's something that's like truly happening, but you want to keep that belief of, or you want to like make the belief of like, I can get out of this, I'm, I mean, we do this affirmation of, we're millionaires, that type of thing. And so how do you keep from like getting stuck in that to where I'm just like,
Well, first off, I needed a belief. Like, what's the belief? Like, without story, what is the belief you tell yourself that's preventing you from taking that next step? What's the story you tell yourself that prevents you from taking that next step?
next step towards,
Financial freedom.
getting where you want to be financially? Hmm. Okay, I like that.
Because you no, you're not like that. What is it? I'm asking you.
Oh, you're asking me. Okay. Story financially. I guess something along the lines of
One sentence.
um
Shadow is really trying to prevent you from getting that
I
sentence,
know
isn't it?
I'm really struggling right now.
What about I'm never going to be financially free? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it can be that simple.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, that's definitely a scary one to think of.
Exactly. It's scary to think about, so you don't think about it and you don't put it in front of you as just a thought. So what you do is you run away from it and you stuff it in your subconscious so it actually gets more power.
So what do I do from here?
You own it. Like you embrace it. Like I hear you. Like we talked about like it's keeping you safe, but like I'm gonna put you out there. Like I'm gonna put it in front of you at all times. I'll never. It's just as just a thought. It's not true. It's not real. But you're
Hmm.
stuffing it in there and you're making it a part of you by running away from it.
Yeah, you're right. I've never really thought of it like that.
You
Yeah.
have it in front of you as just a thought, but it's not true.
So let me explain it a little bit further, since the cat is out of the bag, and my example is actually just about myself. So,
Okay.
uh, so I think what was kind of going on in my head was like, ignore that and self affirmation, what you want, and don't even accept it or acknowledge it. Just ignore it and like try to focus hard on where you're trying to be, which I don't think is a bad thing, but I think
Is
you
it
have
not a
to.
bad thing?
I don't think it's a bad thing, but I think I have to accept first before going to that.
There we go.
Yeah. So I just want
Starting
to.
starting internally before you go externally.
That's good.
If you never process it, then you can't take in new information. If you have like in your core, you have in your belief system, I'm never going to be financially free, and you're trying to like, I'm a millionaire, I'm financially free. It's not going to be able to come in your consciousness because what? Why?
Because I still have that internal belief.
Yeah, it's taking the place. There's literally it's
Yeah.
full. Like your belief systems are full. Like you can't take on new belief systems unless you process it and create a space for that new story to come in.
Yeah,
Is it possible
100%.
for you? Is it possible for you to be financially free?
Yeah.
Is it possible for you to be financially free?
What do you say? No.
Absolutely, absolutely. More conviction.
Okay. Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So say to me, say, Jeremy, I'm absolutely like beyond belief going to be financially free. That so basically that story is not true. I'm never going to be financially free. Is that true?
No,
No.
not at all.
But
Not
you're
at
accepting
all.
it. You're not processing it, and by not processing, you're accepting it as true. So it's going head on with those scary messages in your head, and actually, I'll sit with you. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. What's your belief? I'm never. Is that kind of true? If I really wanted to, and I keep pushing, and I'm consistent of stuff, can I? Yeah. So you're not really true, and I see you're just trying to keep me safe. You want me to stay in place and not have positive growth. I see what you're doing. You have positive. You helped me at one point in my life, but like, yeah. Welcome to the social ninjas.
Yeah, positive intentions, but not needed anymore.
Hmm.
Good old parts work. So this makes me think of, because I know a lot of people that interact with us struggle with social anxiety, obviously, because, we both had our fair share of struggles. Kind of makes me like try to like really think, okay, what could be the belief there? Like the belief from maybe some people who aren't finding, progress or where they want to be with their social anxiety, maybe because they believe that they are social anxiety, right?
Well, I can only I don't know what they're going through each person at a time, but from my own experience, is I accepted the belief system that I have social anxiety and no one likes me. That's a big one for me. No one likes me. Oh, it's such a it is what it is. So like that's a big one for me. And like I said, it's I have that belief system so that I don't put myself out there and I don't get rejected by people. Like it's that's positive. Look at that. I don't get any rejection. Amazing. What a thank you so much. No one likes me. Like so sweet of you. But is
Yeah,
it so I get into it and I'm like, all right, does it true that no one likes me? Kyle, do you like me?
I do.
Boom. It's not true.
Not true. Yeah, that was a similar thing for me. It was like I believe that no one likes me, and my really big belief for me was I suck at talking to people. It's like that was just something that just went in my head. I was like, I'm terrible at talking to people. Man, I'll never be fucking good at it. Basically.
Hmm. So it's like becoming friends with that belief. I see you. I'm not gonna have you don't have no power over me. It's always gonna be there, and that's okay. But have it in front of you. You're always gonna be there, and sometimes it's good. Sometimes it helps you though. Like sometimes there is a space for not completely putting yourself out there, especially in unsafe spaces where people aren't. It's not a safe space. Maybe it's that person who likes to project on you, or that person you don't want in your life, or like that doesn't support you at your most authentic self. Like there is a place for it. You know what I'm saying? It has a space at your what is it called? Your table of allies, in a sense. There is a space for in certain settings, but there are settings where it doesn't serve a purpose.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to even like you like really have to sit down with that part and really like dig in to understand like, oh, okay, this ain't all bad. Like there is a spot for this. Sometimes it can just feel like, what the heck, man, just go away. Like I don't ever need you. Like I mean, obviously a common one is anxiety, and I think we've talked about this quite a bit. It's just like, it's one of those things where like, ugh, like don't need you. Like I wish you just weren't in my life. But like, I mean, anxiety isn't all bad. I mean, it's a pretty normal thing. It's things that we do need it sometimes. Sometimes it comes up when we don't really necessarily need it, but really it's just there to protect us. So
Hmm. Yeah. Well, 100% of the time, it's what it wants for you. Do you know what that is?
100% of the time, it's what it wants for you
What does that negative voice? What does it want for you deep down? 100% of the time,
to feel better, to
it
feel
wants you to
good.
have peace.
Yeah.
Peace. So all it wants for you deep, deep, deep down under all this story is peace. And you're getting mad at it.
Not very peaceful.
Yeah.
uh,
And on top of this, I love this metaphor. I've talked about it on like when I was a guest on another podcast. And the negative voice is like that person who comes to the party and they're like drunk and you're like, go away, get out of here, you're not welcome at this party. What does that like heckler drunk person do? They get more angry. But what does that heckler drunk person say? Sit down, get on the couch, here's some water. Are you okay? Like, I hear you, I know. Come on, it's okay. You're all right. We'll take care of you. Hey, you're not alone. Thank you so much for coming to the party. We appreciate you. Here, watch out. Clear some space for him. Guess or her. It doesn't matter. I don't want to like. Well, you know what I'm saying.
yeah. Yeah. And then they're just going to chill.
Just chill. Hold on. You okay? You look. I like your shirt. You're amazing. I love you. Is that heckler intoxicated person going to be upset anymore? No.
Yeah. That's
I know he's.
good.
I know you just want a little bit of attention.
Just a little bit of tension. Yeah. That's all it wants.
It's like.
That's why it's so
It's
helpful
like.
to just talk to him or her, that part of you,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is that's popping up.
Mm-hmm. Let's have a conversation. What do you want from me? What are you doing to get it from me? You see how that's not it's not getting it's kind of disruptive. Is there are you open like listen, I want to give you love and attention, but the way in which you're trying to give me this piece is not helping? Is there something else you can do to try to help me get that? Like your techniques, your methods?
Yeah. Wow. That was like I feel like a really powerful 15-minute little segment.
Well,
um,
should we update on podcasts? What do you want to talk about?
so I don't know if we want to talk about our, well, I'll go ahead and throw this out because I was given a challenge last time. I don't know if you remember or not, but I'm going to come out and be human and say that I did not complete my challenge that I wanted to do. Um,
What was the challenge?
yes. So if you weren't here last time, the challenge was for me to go into a store. I think the store was Walmart. That's irrelevant, honestly. But, anyways, and go up to random strangers and just ask them if they've listened to the Social Ninjas podcast, just as
Amazing.
a way, just as an
Hold on, no, no,
uncomfortable
no.
chat.
Let's stick with the let's do a little process. Are you open?
Okay. Yeah.
What did you choose to do instead?
Um, I mean, there wasn't really a choose to do instead. I honestly just, I don't want to say
Was
I
there
completely forgot,
was
but
there any moment where you're like, oh, I am here and I can do it if I want to?
honestly, I don't think so. No.
Okay. There wasn't a moment you're like you remembered and you just decided not to do it.
I remembered several times, just not at the times I could do it. So I knew it had to be done on a weekend because the week would never be able to work for me. And then I would just completely forget about it. So
Okay,
the
so let's get into impacts. What was the impact on you? Possible or impact on you? Yeah,
impact on me of not doing it and
correct.
how I feel about that.
Mm-hmm.
So the impact on me, I think the biggest thing was because saying it on the podcast made it more of a real thing, and I have accountability when I do that. It's the reason why I wanted to do that, to hold myself accountable.
What is the
So
direct impact on you?
yeah, so by not doing that, it made me feel like I let people down, like I didn't hold true to my word.
There it is.
Yeah,
I'm not true to my word as this possible impact, potential.
yeah.
What is a potential impact on others potentially?
Um, I think, I mean, it's possible that some people may be upset with me. Probably not. I wouldn't think so. I think the bigger impact would be more like Kyle's a human being, and look, he messed up and didn't come through on what he wanted to do, and just kind of maybe that gives people a little bit of a piece of like, okay, you don't have to be perfect.
Let's just try something here. I got a hit. What would have happened if you did do it? Potentially.
For me,
Yeah, for you.
um, so for me, I probably would have felt really good to do that. Anytime I do any kind of uncomfortable challenge, I end up feeling pretty good about myself.
So is there a belief about yourself that stops you from doing it? Is there a belief about yourself that potentially stops you from doing the stretch or the challenge?
Not one that comes to mind. At least not this time. No.
Hmm. Okay. Is there a way? Is there an act of service you can do to get back into accountability?
I mean, I've thought of an idea of how to make sure I get it done this month.
So was it too much of a stretch? Is there something a little bit easier so you can get the win? Like, what does it look like? Like this whole process is just the people listening. This is no shame. We're not shaming here. It's complete, just no judgment, support to help them explore his, the stretch and what prevented him from doing it. I see this all the time in clients where they don't do something and it's nothing to do with not. It's just a belief they have about themselves that prevents them from doing it, and it's just about support. So is there like a stretch? Because usually there's a belief system about yourself that prevents you from doing those stretches. And for me, I don't want to project. It could be like no one cares. What's the point? No one cares is what comes up for me. Like no one cares, so why do it? No one really cares. Um, I'm not worth it. I don't know. There's a potential belief systems that can prevent you from making from completing those challenges. So literally getting back into it, integrity is like saying to me in this moment, like people care, I matter, something like that. But I don't want to project like my own shadows on what you're, on you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, no, I don't think that example that you just brought up, the belief that I don't care. I don't think that's something that popped up in my head.
I know. I'm just giving an example.
Um, I mean, really, I mean, maybe if we dig deep, harden. I don't know. I really don't think there's any sort of belief system that kept me from doing it. I think it was just a much simpler thing than that. At least one that I'm not aware of, unless it's just really hidden down there or something. I really don't think there was something holding me back other than I just forgot.
Got it. So do you want to re-up on the challenge or do you want to do a new one?
No, I want to do that still.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I definitely want to do that. I'd love to find a way to somehow get it recorded while I do it too, but I don't know if that's possible. But
And is this challenge in the does it support your the normalizing the conversation around mental health?
I
I'm
mean,
playing
that,
hardball just for fun.
yeah, I mean, I guess that really wasn't the intention, but I guess somewhat could. I mean, just having these conversations with these people about the social ninjas, they'd probably ask what that was, and I would go into that. Um, and well,
A podcast normalizing the conversation around mental health. Boom. Now it's in mission.
yeah, I mean, and that, and obviously, social anxiety. That was a big thing I did, was just doing these uncomfortable challenges and stuff that I still do, obviously.
There we go.
And so that's, yeah, that's leading by example, man.
Beautiful. That's good. We had a guest yesterday. Talks about you are not alone. Gave me the goosebumps. I definitely believe that. I love hearing you're not alone. I also love about this podcast is one person at a time, giving out the message that if anyone's going through any struggles or anything, like you're not alone. I still go through them.
Listen
And
to that song this morning.
oh, did you?
Yeah,
Nice.
that was good.
It's good. um, yeah, making vulnerability normal and brave as opposed to weak. Man, that's a big one for me. When
Yeah,
someone's
same.
vulnerable, I trust them so much more.
Oh, I know, right?
Someone does a vulnerable share, I'm like, I trust you. All of a sudden, you're not hiding anything.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So only good comes from it. Yeah, we're so scared to like what people will think of us if we're honest about like our struggles. And if we're not honest about our struggles, it only has more power over us. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, because it's kind of like what we were going back to, or kind of holding it in, right?
Yeah. So if I have like the belief system that I'm selfish, and if I have it in front of me, I'm more likely to be less selfish. So I was like, hold on, I see in front of me. I did. I'm more open. I feel like kindness is intentional. Like sometimes it takes the beginning of kindness and being selfless is intentional, and then it turns intentional.
Yeah. I wonder, I mean, that would probably be helpful to, I keep going to back to social anxiety, but people struggling with that, and maybe you're having to talk with somebody and maybe even challenge yourself to say to them, like, you know, I struggle with social anxiety, and however you can kind of bring that up
Mm.
organically, and if it feels like the right time. But I feel like just saying that would make yourself more comfortable, just like with that person, be able to talk. I feel like it would have for me.
So yeah, it's not a big secret.
Yeah, right there in front of you.
I had a chat with the a good client, and then I pushed them. I like not pushed them. I was more supportive because they've always wanted to do it. Go to therapy, and
Mm.
they're so scared, and then they went, and oh my gosh, they were so excited afterwards. That was the best thing. I feel so much better. Oh my gosh, I've been struggling, this and that. Like they got all like, thank you so much. So you're not alone. It comes back to that.
You're not alone. Yeah, therapy's great, isn't it?
Got my therapy reps in.
Therapy reps in.
It's so stigmatized. I love it when people. I love that idea of Kyle's like, I went to therapy, dude. Nice. Get those reps in. Oh my, you're a badass. How cool a world we live in. And someone says to go to therapy, you're like, dude, are you serious? You're a badass.
Yeah, I mean, even like I've been going to therapy every other week for like the past couple
Dude,
months.
Kyle, You're a
but,
beast.
but like instead of like hiding it, like because I'd have to like let my boss know, like, hey, instead of like saying like I just have like a doctor's appointment, I just tell everybody straight up, just like, yeah, I have therapy session every other week, just so you know, just it's kind of funny just seeing it. Like you think that they'd be like kind of look at you crazy, but it wasn't like that at all. They're just like, okay.
I love it. Love it. That's a dope therapy session.
Yeah.
Cool. I have a question I want to ask you, Kyle. We ask all our guests. If you had one message for the world, what would that message be?
Take care of your mental health. Make it just as big of a priority as your physical health. That'd be my message.
I love it.
Oh, I do want to. So I know we're closing out here. At the end of this coming month, I guess this episode will come out the beginning of November. So, yeah, at the end of this month, in November, we're releasing, or at least we're planning to release some footage with Jeremy and his middle school bully, and I can't remember her name. What's her
His
name?
name.
No, I mean,
Oh, I thought it was my bully. Oh,
no, I'm
Haley.
talking. Who?
Dr. Haley Watson.
Dr. Haley Watson. Yeah, so that's someone
She's
it's someone we interviewed.
she's
Um,
amazing.
she's amazing. She's like a professor. She like concentrates in bullying, and she's
For the
a
last PhD, and she did it for the last 15 years, and she's on the podcast, and she did a TEDx. So we want to check out Dr. Haley Watson, check out her TEDx. And I had the idea of not confronting, but having a conversation with my bully. And I was so scared. And I was like, I reached out to her. I'm like, hey, would you or anyone you know be open to being like a facilitator between me and my main bully from middle school? And she's like, are you joking me? Me? So she came on and facilitated us. Oh my gosh. It was so heavy and vulnerable and incredible. And I'm not gonna lie, I did it and kind of ran away from it. And didn't really put any energy into it after that because I was scared. I ran back to my cave, but I forgiven myself. I chose to, come back to it and release it for the purpose of giving perspective and hope and inspiration to anyone who has either gone through that or yeah, man, I get like goosebumps just talking about it. It was really intense.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna have a ton of value. But yeah, that's something to look forward to towards the end of this month. Interview with her, and then the interview with her, Jeremy, and the bully. I know you're probably sad because I'm not gonna be in that one, but trust me, it's still good stuff. So. Other than that, is there anything else we need to inform our listeners
Oh
about?
yeah, Kyle and I are launching a group coaching program.
Yes, we are. If you're not watching and you're just listening, Jeremy dropped a plastic fork as if it was a mic.
That's my mic drop. Kyle and I are joining forces for a powerful group coaching. It's going from socially anxious to socially confident. It's going to be a think tank. It's going to be powerful. We're going to have support group. It's going to be amazing. So reach out to us if you want some more information on that.
Yeah, we'll put something on the website about that so you guys can check it out. That's the socialninjaspodcast.com. Please leave us a 5-star review. Share this with your friends and family. Have them send a 5-star review as well. Take our listener survey. And if you're interested, we do have a Patreon set up where you can sign up to be a supporter of ours and get access to nifty gifties. Early access to episodes, videos, extra content, all that stuff. So be on the lookout for that. Until next week.
So much love your way.
So much love. All right. We will see you all next week.